Hello and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to go over quickly a couple of new books that have come into my collection. The first one that I picked up from Target was The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. They both die at the end, and the first one to die at the end, and this one just came out at the beginning of May, and I really wanted to pick it up so I could complete that collection of books. It is a nice thick book, but I know this is going to be a fast read because the other two books I read very quickly. I have no idea where this is going, but if it's anything like the other two books in this world, there's going to be a lot of world building, a lot of lore, and there's going to be a lot of connections to other characters that you've seen pop up. So I'm very excited to get to this one hopefully soon. And then while I was at Target, I also saw this book. This Is Where It Ends. I have read this book previously. I read this book maybe 5 years ago at this point. Let me look at the publication date. Yeah, could possibly be 5 years ago. The original publication was in 2016. But this is, I'm just going to read the synopsis on the back. It says, told from 4 different perspectives over the span of 54 harrowing minutes, terror reigns as one student's calculated revenge turns into the ultimate game of survival. This is a book that when I saw on the shelf at Target, I was like, I need to buy this because it is a book that I come back to at least a couple times a year, where I think about this book and the impact that it had on my reading experience. I will say it is not a book that everyone should read. It is about a school shooting, so it has a lot of trigger warnings. I think it is a very well told story, and it is very captivating, and this is definitely one that I just wanted to reread again and add to my collection. But like I said, it is not something that I think everybody should read, and I don't think it's a book for everybody, but for me this really impacted my thought processes around a lot of things, so it is one I wanted to add to my collection. And then the last book I'm not sure if I have talked about yet. This is Cloud Atlas. This is actually a borrowed book to me. My mom borrowed it to me. I gifted it to her for either her birthday or Christmas. I cannot remember. And she told me that it is now my turn to struggle my way through this book. It apparently is a very intellectual book, and I have no idea what it's about. The way she was describing it to me was that it's multiple stories set within one another, and like the structure of this book is almost like nested within each section. So I'm excited to jump into this one hopefully during the summer when I have a little bit more bandwidth and capacity to dive into a more intellectual book. But I think it will be very fun to read, and then I can return it to her. So I believe that is all of the new books that have come into my collection recently. Actually, there is one that I haven't talked about, so let me go grab it off my shelf and I will chat about that one. Okay, I picked it up off my shelf, and I know I haven't talked about this one yet. I did pick this up at a used bookstore. It is An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth by Colonel Chris Hadfield. This is one that has been on my TBR list, and when I saw it at the used bookstore that I go to every once in a while near me, that I knew I wanted to pick it up since it has been on my list. I think I picked it up for like $8, $4, something like that. $10. This one was $10, probably because it's a hardcover, but I'm very excited to read this one, and I have been getting into reading more of my nonfiction, which is good because that's about half of what's left on my TBR shelf. So that is all of the fairly new books that have come into my collection recently and on my getting kind of empty TBR shelf, if I do say so myself. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.